So the Gorillaz album just dropped a couple days ago, and I have my opinions on it. I'll get into it, but I'd just like to lay the groundwork for this video. First off, I just want to say that this video isn't really a review, it's just sharing my thoughts on the songs and the album as a whole. There's nothing objective about it, it's all subjective, so just keep that in mind when I'm doing my thoughts on the songs. I also want to mention that I'll be doing the deluxe edition of the album, which comes with about, I think, 5 or 6 extra songs, so I'll also be talking about those along with the others. But with those two things mentioned, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first song we have on the album is Ascension, which is featuring Vince Staples. Personally, I really enjoy this song. I think it has some really good lines and verses. I also think that the beat is very catchy and upbeat, and it really gets you ready for the album. The song is also structured really well, and the samples that they use are very unique and interesting and make the song more lively, I think. My main gripe with the song, and this is very minor, is that the main chorus is a bit repetitive. Like, if you were listening to the song on consecutive listens, then it might get a bit old, but that's very minor. And also, I think the song is a bit too short. I think if they had at least one extra verse in there, I think it would have been perfect. But other than that, an amazing song. The next song on the album is called Strobe Light, and it is sung by Pevin Everett. And I don't really have a bad opinion of this song. I mean, it's very groovy, has a mellow beat, excellent instrumentation, vocals. Pevin is an amazing vocalist, and I'd love to see more of him. Probably look him up after this. The only bad thing I can really say about this song is that it's very safe. It doesn't really step too far out of the boundaries of music, but other than that, it's a very excellent song.
Press the button to begin.
Alright, so here we have Saturn's Bars, which is the third song on the album, and it is featuring Popkin. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't really like the singing of this song. Like, I don't really know what they were thinking. They got a Jamaican guy, and they auto-tune him. That's not a very good combination, and I really don't feel like it fit with the song. I do like the part, however, when 2D comes in near the end, and Popkin is doing the background vocals for him. I think that was a better fit for Popkin, not as a main vocalist at the start of the song. Other than Popkin, I didn't really have too many issues with the song. The structure, samples, and the music video tie in together really well, and all three of those things really do create something memorable.
I'm talking about the Cool Clown Clan.
A few years back, I remember watching a documentary that had the Gorillaz in it. And De La Soul were talking about how anytime they work with the Gorillaz, they always try and do something that's very unique and interesting. And they have achieved this once again with their song, Moments. In this song, there's a lot of elements that you really wouldn't think would work, but they actually do, which is kind of surprising. For starters, you have this really large, bouncy ball-esque beat that goes throughout the entire song almost. And then you have De La Soul actually singing and not rapping for once. There are rap parts in it, but for the most part they sing throughout the entire song. But finally you have these synth stingers that'll come in, kind of highlighting different parts of the song. It's really surprising that all these elements work together, but I'm glad that they pulled it off. So here we have Submission, aka Strobe Light 2.0, as I like to call it. And I actually really like this song. I really enjoy how the song builds up until Danny Brown's part. And then after Danny Brown's part, she comes back in just to finish the song. Now my real big issue with the song is Danny Brown. I don't like the way his voice sounds, and I don't think it really fits the song at all, especially when you have Khalila's smooth vocals. Also on top of that, Danny Brown really brings some cheesy bars. Like, I can still listen to this song, but to me, Danny Brown really drags it down, and anytime he comes up, I just kind of laugh. It's just funny.
I am the ghost.
If you haven't figured it out yet, I really love songs that build up and climax to a big finish, and Charger satisfies that need perfectly. The song starts with a really simple guitar riff, but then over time more things are added to it and turns into this really chaotic mess that I really love. Now, I personally don't have any negatives to this song because it is my favorite one on the album, so I'm a bit biased, but I could definitely see some complaints. The one that comes to my mind is 2D singing in the song. It's very nonchalant and it doesn't seem like he's all there, so I could definitely see that being one. But if you have any more that I haven't really thought of, please let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. Earlier I mentioned how Strobe Light was a very safe song, and didn't really break the boundaries of music too much. I feel the same way with Andromeda. The song as a whole has very simple samples, stuff that you would hear on other bands and tracks. There's a couple samples that are weird that are thrown in there. I think there's like elevator noises and button noises. But in general, I just felt like the song was very safe compared to the songs prior to it. You know, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the song, but I just felt like it was very lackluster. Also, I'd like to take this time to talk about Busted in Blue, which is connected to this song. I actually really liked Busted in Blue. I felt like it was a nice change of pace for the album. Prior to this, all the songs were almost dance related and very energetic. This one kind of kicks it down a notch, and I really appreciated that. Carnival featuring Anthony Hamilton is an interesting song. I do like it. It has a nice beat, it's nice, smooth, it has good samples, but the song as a whole just feels very underdeveloped. The song just starts and then before you know it, it's gone, it ended. It just feels really weird. It's kind of like they just forgot to work on it or just skipped it to work on something else. Now that I think about it, there are other songs on this album that also feel half-developed. Of course, I'll talk about that when the time comes.
But they say the devil's at work and is calling.
This song is pretty interesting like the other ones that I've talked about. For the most part, it's a good song. All the vocalists do a good job singing their parts. I really enjoyed all of them. But my main problem is nothing happens in this song. You listen to it and then halfway through you forget that you're actually listening to it. It just ends. You're like, what happened? Like, nothing changes throughout the entire thing. It's annoying. You listen to the entire song and you're expecting at the end for all three of them to combine on one giant verse, but you don't get that. It just ends. Speaking of songs where nothing happens, we have Sex Murder Party, which is featuring Jamie Principle and Zebra Cats. Man, is this song just so boring, like nothing even happens in it. And I get that it's supposed to be a dance song, but for me personally, dance songs have hard bass and are very energetic and are just exciting in general. You know what, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a huge culture clash here, and in Europe and other parts of the United States, dance songs are totally different, but from my perspective, it's really not a good dance song. Also, the singing didn't really set well with me. I didn't really like how minimal it was. I thought it was a bit annoying at times. And even 2D's singing, I didn't really enjoy that either. But with all that said, let's move on to the next song. So here we have She's My Caller, which is featuring Kali Uchis. I don't even know if I got that name correct. I could have totally butchered it. Apologies beforehand. But my opinion of this song is very neutral. When I listen to this song, I don't want to turn it off because it's terrible, but I don't really want to get into it because it's good. I'm just very in between. It's kind of like To Binge from Plastic Beach. It wasn't like an amazing song, but it wasn't a terrible song either. That's kind of where I am with this one. Now I know some of you are going to say, well, Yeti, To Binge and She's My Caller are my two favorite songs. And I say to you, congrats that you can actually get into them, but for me personally, it's just, I can't do it. Man, this song gives me some PTSD, but if you want to see my thoughts on this song, go check out my video that I made on it prior to this. For the most part, my thoughts are still the same. The only thing I'd like to add is that I like the song a bit more now, just because I know the full context of the album, but thoughts still remain the same. Anytime I hear this song, I kind of chuckle a bit. I just can't help but laugh at it. For one, the lyrics are kind of cheesy, the tune is cheesy, it's just a funny song in general. Maybe that was the point, but I just cannot get into it for those reasons. I think of it more as a gimmick than a song, and just to kind of tie up the album as a whole, but just can't get into this one. So, those were all the songs that are included in the standard edition of the album. I'm going to go on and do the 5 that are included into the deluxe one. For this segment though, I'm going to do a bit of a rapid fire, just to kind of get it done quick because this video has been going on for so long, and I figured, what a better way to do it. Let's go. Here we go. First one, The Apprentice. I really like this song. I think it's the best out of the 5 deluxe edition songs. The vocals and the lyrics are really good in this song, and I definitely think it's like a Let Me Out 2.0. Alright, Halfway to the Halfway House. I don't like this song at all. I feel like there was a big miscommunication between the songwriter and the vocalist. The vocals do not really fit the beat at all. Just really feels like a mishmash. Not a fan. Out of Body is one of those songs that I like just because of the beat and just how weird it is in general. And that's for the first half of the song. The second half is not very good. I don't like it at all. It just sounds like someone's having an existential crisis. Ticker Tape. This song is really boring for the first half. It really picks up near the end, but that's the only listenable part. The rest of it is just so boring. Circle of Friends is another song that is incomplete and is just not interesting enough to listen to fully. Anyway, that is all my thoughts on the new Gorillaz album. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, please leave a like on the video or just recommend an album to me in the comments and I'll take a look at it. Anyway, thank you for watching and catch you guys later.